There's the barn, and here's the barn finds. Yeah, you don't see one of those every day. Old tractors and things were just stashed away wherever there was a spot to cover them. This is the old co-op. I believe these were derivative of a cockshut. Pretty basic tractor. Does have the hydraulics. This is the Oliver. Old diesel. That's probably a relatively collectible tractor. Around where we're from, just hardly ever see Olivers. Just don't think they were that widely marketed. That one's a big boy. Big boy. That's cool. Little supercharger on there. What a neat tractor. That'd be a great tractor to restore. A massive drawbar on there. Think it'd do some real work. And there's the barn. And here's the barn finds. Chevrolet 1950. Old deluxe. Thing's pretty rusty underneath. Seen a lot of winters. Not a lot of car washes afterward. Got the seat covers. The original upholstery underneath. Still really good. Of course, 3-speed manual. The old owner's guide with it. Mileage on this one is 75,000. Got your aftermarket accessory silver tone radio. Cannot say I've ever seen one of those in one of these cars. That's a neat piece to lay eyes on. It's parked in '82. That's the year my parents were married. Now you can see super neat little dealer badge there. Iowa would explain the rust. There's a lot of aluminum dealer badges for these old Chevys that fit flat above that trunk handle, but I've never seen a little tab one like that on anything from any brand. It's a cool piece. Get the accessory fender antenna for the radio. Firestone Super Balloon tires. This is a 36 Buick 8-cylinder. Neat car. When I was graduating from McPherson College in my final year, I worked on one of these as my last project there at the school. Now this is structural wood body, and you can see the old wool upholstery is just pretty tired on it. And we read an odometer 72,000. It's got the accessory heater. Let's jump in here and see if there's a brand for you guys. Man, I cannot read that. Of course, a 3-speed manual, floor shift, the old banjo steering wheel. A lot of just really great Art Deco styling all around one of these cars. Just neat to look at, all the window frames, the dash trim. I actually did in our upholstery class seats for these, and still remember those triple stripes. The trick to sewing a straight seam was not to look at the needle. The trick was to look down the whole piece of fabric. The ribbed bumpers and matching taillights. 36 Buick just has a great cohesive style to it. All those line motifs, the bumpers, the taillights, the hubcaps, upholstery, dash trim, hood sides, even up into the hood ornament, down the headlights. This was really the heyday of GM styling and color. Harley Earl and them all put out a great effort to make the styling on these really something special. Dodge, presumably a diesel. The plug, the winter heater. Now, he said the Chevrolet and the Buick there, he drove out here, which is kind of neat. T said he was working on, and he could turn it, but it wasn't getting fire, so presumably needing coils. Got the pneumatic tires on the front and the solids on the rear. Super neat to see them still in good shape. A lot of times they chunk out and crack apart, but it's still kind of a usable set. This is a steel cab, 1925. Only wood in there is the slats for the top. That's pretty typical of 20s Fords. There was some wood, but none of it was structural. It was just there to tack the upholstery into. 40 Chevrolet, he said this one, engine had seized from sitting. All the upholstery's out of it, so you'd have a big job getting an interior in this car. You notice the blank partition there. This one did not have a back seat. It's a business coupe, so this platform is where you'd set your boxes and things for salesmen. Obviously not a salesman that sold huge things, but for any smaller stuff and area representatives for oils and stuff, they'd have their little sample cases and carry them around in a car like this. We're showing 20,000 on this, which it's hard to say, is that original or not. I think it's been repainted. You can see the overspray on the bumpers. This is just tape on the stripes. Window frames repainted. So, never know on something like that. It does have the side fuel filler, the quarter there, which I believe is a business coupe. I think the regular coupes just had them in the fender, but I'm not certain of that. Somebody has added 1937 and 38 hubcaps on there. 40's a transitional year. Last year, the running boards. This is the Master 85, which still had the straight axle. That was a bit of a holdover from the Depression era. Just a way to have a vehicle with a lower list price, be a little more financially accessible during cash-strapped times.
Whenever you're ready, let's go. We'll start down there. Yep.
This one has the original crank hole cover. It's a hard piece to find. A lot of those went missing over the years. A lot of different cars. There's, hey!
I think it's the first time I've actually seen you at an auction.
Oh, really?
Forever.
Yeah?
You always go film the auction beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome to raise the hoods.
Okay.
Check anything out that
Sure.
you want to check out.
All right.
And
There's the...
Silas and I are going to run to the pasture
Okay.
if you wish to go. We're going to take
Should
a
we?
4-door pickup that's going to
Okay.
sell, so
Okay.
it's up to you, Tim.
Test drive it, see if it's any good and we want to buy it later.
Yeah, you might.
You got long legs, I'll let you at the front.
All right.
Sorry, guys. I'm leaving out on
I keep saying one of these days I'm going to get me an ATV or something.
the rock. Yeah, I'd like to have a UTV.
Get you an old, like a Suzu or Datsun 4-wheel drive that still runs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. Like, guys will have 20 grand in something that you can't register or take on a highway, and you could
We
pay
actually,
$3,500, yeah, for something.
saw one for sale in Oxford, a 4-person Polaris used. I was like, let's check on that. We checked on it. 18.5.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't think I'm going to do that. I may be cool on that. Anything you want to look at, let me know. Tim, this one right here is full of General Motors parts of all shapes and sizes. And there's another one over there.
What's Silas doing at an auction? Shouldn't he be home crushing cars or something?
That should be. You going to the one tomorrow too?
I will, yeah. Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm leaving, when I leave here,
It's-
whatever I buy, I'm going to go unload and then hit the road and just wait right there.
That's the plan.
The old Buick does not have an engine in it.
Okay.
They're training.
50, a lot of
1950 is what the tag says.
one year only
And
parts on
then
there.
we'll take a quick stop right up here because we've got one that Silas is going to want to look at. No, not the postal Jeep.
Yeah, I'll leave that one. I got a bunch of those.
Those things are like cockroaches.
It's the other one.
Now you know why I didn't want to walk down here, guys.
Is this the only route?
Yeah, this is the only route. If you want to stop, Silas, we can. If you don't, I'll go on.
Oh, wow.
We can keep going. That's cool though.
Big window GMC.
4x4.
Four-wheel driving.
NAPCO or not?
Well, we've been trying to get the driver's door open to see if it had a tag. Now, it was originally V6, but it's got a small block Chevy in it now. It's even got a PTO.
That's cool. I have one about like that, but it had an APCO in it. And that's takes 30 minutes to get it.
And the APCO is what everybody wants.
Wow. Field of Dreams.
I kept the tag on the APCO because I wanted it for my tag collection.
Mhm.
And the guy that bought the APCO was like, man, I'll give you an extra $100 if you give me the tag too. So I said, okay. I don't like it that much.
The old yellow Willie's pickup still got the tailgate on the bed with the W
Yeah.
stamped into the tailgate. There's
one of
some
those tailgates.
there's some interesting stuff down here. I didn't say good, I said interesting.
Ford. True coupe with a short roof and long deck.
Yep. I'm gonna stop right here and let you fellas have at it.
Awesome, thank you.
Sure thing, yep.
Check out that Angus Ranch in the door of that one right there, that FC.
The FC Jeeps.
49. The small grill lights,
I've got one of these. This is
refrigerator door handles.
This down here is some content, fellas.
Coupe used the same trunk lid as the two-door sedan. Just had a larger space in between there. Angus Ranch. What a cool rig. Oh wow. Rainine Chevrolet Mulvane. 54 GMC. 1 year only grill, curved windshield with an F250 box. GMC had their own dash, separate a Chevrolet. Yeah, you don't see one of those every day. Wow. See, I never knew they made a separate Cal version. Begs the question if there's any Willie's school buses around. Scout tailgate. If there's something solid left to weld to, you can restore anything.
Yeah, especially Scout stuff. Yeah, the Scout tailgate will sell separate. That was small block Chevy.
That was a popular conversion back in the day. You could buy the kit. I've had several that were like that. Pretty neat stuff.
75 Trans Am, believe it or not, that shows 26,000 miles on the odometer.
Wow.
I asked Kurt and he said it was correct. It got in a wreck.
Seen better days, but still pretty neat.
They sit down there since '82.
Yeah.
Honeycombs. Power windows, automatic. The cool old bird. Partial. 400. It's got the velour interior.
I got a guy here from California buying a 40 Chevy Coupe for me and a bunch of parts. So I better show him at the yard now, show him around.
Yeah, 67. What was at one time a 67 Camaro? The Pontiac guys were down here at the group looking at that one yesterday for parts.
It's crazy. Even just little things on these cars are still worth good money.
Well, you look at this one. At one time it was a race car. It's been tubbed. Homemade tubs.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Another one. This one's four-wheel drive with a small block conversion unit.
And then the main thing I'm interested in, the only reason I'm here today really, this thing right here. Jeep Quick Van, 1961 to 63. FJ3. One of my favorite deals. I have one in the yard that I've been working to figure out. Slowly getting there. Slowly and surely, but when I do get to it, I'm definitely going to report. Very hard to find. Probably from the tail bill. Well, I better go see if I can get that.
73 SS with the polycast wheels. Super neat car. Last tagged 84. Sold new quality Chevrolet. Look at this battery. The white plastic totally eroded off of it. There you can see the plate connectors between the divisions of the individual cells. Kind of neat. All this stuff locked up tight.
I didn't bring a pry bar. You had let
Out in the wheat fields.
At this point in time on these cars, that's just a trim package.
This is cool. Highway Products Incorporated, Kent, Ohio. Zip code. Put this in the mid-60s era, at least when it was in service. That thing is right-hand drive. Wow. So the owner said that he's tired of mowing out here, so everything's getting sold. A lot of the trees are coming down, and more of this is gonna be a wheat field. Everything that grows can be mowed with a combine harvester, I suppose, after that. Oh wow. So the Duke boys jumped it.
Or Wade dug it out of the dirt. One of the two did it.
It probably looks like it came out of that pond right there. Let me look at that, but I guarantee you this thing was down in that pond.
It come out right behind the pond.
Right behind the pond. So look at that.
Wow.
If you can get all 20 lugs off this car without snapping a stud, you ought to go buy a lottery ticket. International. Mirror.
International's four-wheel drive. Off the road since 90. I'm sure a lot of guys still drove these in the 90s until they rusted away.
Yeah, it is 90. I thought it was 80. It's 90. Yeah.
Camaro, early model. 70.
Split bumper.
Yeah. 71, 72. Not a lot left of that one. Red Dirt Road, where I wrecked my first car. I tore it all to pieces. Man, that thing got hammered. Let's see if there's still a firewall tag. Yep. 70, 80. I don't know how to read a Camaro firewall tag. Not in the mood to touch raccoon poo. There's what you can see of it, I guess. I'll try and zoom a little. If any of our fender tag guys, firewall tag guys are here, tell us what that is. Camaro with the racing stripes. Makes you wonder if that's something somebody repainted that way, which the answer is yes, because the firewall's still blue. Norwood car.
One big forklift and my tractor, so make arrangements, we'll help you. We'll get you loaded up.
Said back in the day, he'd buy all these Jeeps and part them out. They've got a parts and welding and transmission and chassis business. There is a tremendous amount of stuff. This is an old Buick Special. That's a V8. A lot of Jeeps later on had Buick V6s when they bought them from GM, and then GM bought them back. So, That's the lineup.
Let me know when you're coming, what you need. We'll get you hooked up.
49 Ford was a V8. Sixes had their own call out on the grill.
Somebody took the
Oh
flathead
wow.
out and put in a small block Ford.
Something else, yeah.
And then even had AC on it at one
Wow.
time.
Yep. Yeah, Ford was pretty proud of that 8BA flathead, and that's what most people ordered. I've probably seen just a couple of these that were sixes.
It'd be a good race car or something. We'll ask the expert. Is that the original bed on that 54, 55 GMC?
It is not.
I didn't think it was.
Yeah.
You know more about it. It looks like a Ford to me.
Yeah, F250.
That's what I thought.
53 to 56. This is a big 2-day sale, Friday and then Tuesday. His goal is to have everything out of here, flatten all of it, and turn this to cropland. All the parts, all the trees, everything going. There's the old mail Jeep. Believe this is in the AMC years, probably mid-70s. A lot of letters delivered in that, especially in the days before email. They're a pretty busy rig. 50 Buick Special. A lot of Buick stuff's 1 year only on a 50. This car, you can see the straight rear door pillars there. This model 41D on early 50s, late 40s Buicks and Oldsmobiles. You gotta really be careful if you're buying parts for one, because a lot of stuff is different. And the best description and rundown of all that in the old Special Interest Autos magazine that Hemmings put out, which was renamed Hemmings Classic Car in the decades following. There's a SIA article called Body Politics, which, if you're into that type of stuff, is really fascinating to read. A lot of new old stock parts from GM. These are S10 bedsides. A lot of this stuff was probably damaged in shipping, and so they just wholesaled it out. Looks like a lot of bumpers and big truck parts. It's kind of a cool semi-steering wheel. It's got a sport look to it. Chevy pickup trim. Some new old stock 165 SR15 tires. Possibly for a bug, maybe. I don't know if those would still be runnable or not, or just display. So out here, just a lot of equipment parts, skid loader stuff. These are new old stock Ford C6 transmission cases. It's probably not bad for resale. Looks like they're starting in here. A lot of hubcaps. These were takeoffs from school bus manufacturers. Cool old Air Force truck door. 3031 Model A. Be decent wall hanger. Little air tank, disc shape. Some Corvette hubcaps. A lot of this GM stuff is all new old stock. Truck emblems. Outside it would be cool to turn one of these into a belt buckle. The old pinball game, Gottlieb. I had one of these once, and if they're not working, probably not gonna get them working. At least that's what the expert told me that I asked about it. But display piece nonetheless. More hubcaps. These Dodge 3/4 ton. No, they're not. They're Plymouth. So your Plymouths, which they made a Voyager van, is what those came on. They're not very common. Bunch more parts and parts and parts.
How you doing? All right.
Truck parts, tractor parts, car parts.
Building after building.
New old stock headlight buckets. Little under dash AC unit. I used to sell those pretty reliably on eBay, and then they came out with new full setup systems that kind of killed the market. These old ones took a bit of engineering to make them work and get all the parts to go with them. AC is a lot different than any other system on the car because it runs at a high pressure. So any little compromise in fittings or O-rings or any of that makes them escape all the Freon out, and then you're not cooling anymore. You gotta watch your compatible oils and all that stuff too. There's an old car radio. That's a What's It corner. I do not recognize that one at all. The little slide-in ashtray on the bottom. You could about put that almost in any car, but I don't think it's universal aftermarket. There's an entire shelf of shifters, shifter parts. My buddy Brett will probably buy these. It's the type of sale, there's something for everybody. It's really fun to look through these and identify them. Little new old stock. Probably be good eBay inventory. More new old stock GM stuff. There's a regular pickup door. That's a big truck door. These grills, probably takeoffs from the body shop. 69 and 70, a little bit of damage, but you could put them on a beater truck. They do repro these now, but the letters are just not quite the same. And you can spot them if you know what you're looking at. Old Blazer or Suburban gates. Little damage in the center, but my body guy always tells me he'd rather fix dents than rust. And it is factory part, so you know you'd have proper fit. This back bumper I am not sure on. 70s safety bumper with the shocks and the jack hooks. New old stock El Camino and Sprint bumper. 73 to 7. More 70s and 80s Chevy truck bumpers. There's a rear. These rears are kind of hard to find because all your step bumpers. A lot of vehicles were delivered from the factory to the dealers without rear bumpers, and they had contracts with other outside suppliers that would stamp their dealer names and put them on. Trucks. This one I think could be factory GM because it's got the stickers on it for the order at the plants. Fun fact trivia, the factory, they would put a little tag bracket with a tag light on the trucks to make them legal without the bumpers. And you see a lot of these dealership cleanouts, a whole basket of those that they'd take off the trucks when they put the bumpers on. Some headlight rings. This is 80 only. Square headlights. Trim moldings. Wildlife corner. Some military stuff here too. Old diesel generators. There's the old 216 engine. Somebody's older restoration in the 80s. Just didn't quite get finished. The old Kaiser. 48. Super neat. Old buffalo emblem. It's a good old Survivor. This is kind of scrambled odometer, but maybe 58,000. Upholstery kind of rough on that one. It's got the Fulton sun shield visor. There's one more they pulled out that wasn't on the sale bill. This is a 1941 Pontiac. Now your Pontiacs for probably a couple decades there, almost 15 years. You could get either a 6 or an 8. And this one's the 8. About mid-30s to about the mid-50s. And a lot of these years, the front fenders were actually longer on the 8 cylinders, which makes sense. So if a guy's ever looking at parts on one of these, kind of got to be careful and know what you're getting. My classic tire, Phillips 66 Safety Action Tread. This one also been repainted. Really neat Art Deco dash in that too. Showing 27,000. Look at that. Super neat car. Radio and all. That's a cool Survivor. So that one he drug out of the barn and didn't have any time to tinker on. It's a good lineup of old-time vehicles. There's the Generac alternator. I'm sure some of you guys on the channel probably remember having run equipment like that.
You gotta be able to move and get off the ground in less than 10 minutes.
Lots and lots and lots of skid loader parts out here. Those are a big 5-lug bolt circle, 15-inch, probably something fairly early. This is medium duty truck bumper central. Although I don't know that there's tremendous market for anyone restoring those. But if you needed a new bumper to put on it, there they'd be in the row. Now this one, I was thinking it's kind of a what's it corner. And then I asked the guy that was organizing the sale, and he spilled the secret. This is not for Chevy Nova. It's not a Marine. It's got the HEI distributor, so it's mid-70s. You notice the funny oil pan and the fuel line going straight up. He said this one is for a forklift. That was a spare motor they had around for it. Of course, these come out of service and you never know why they took them out. Some of them could run and some could just be cores to rebuild. Old 350 Chevy there. That's the 010 block. Kind of desirable. I might ask the owner if they know anything about it. Never a bad idea to have a good spare 350 sitting around. There's always a place to put them in truck or car that comes in that needs one. So here's an actual what's it corner. Some old diesel engine. Thing's been rebuilt. I have no idea what I'm looking at on that one.
Identifying parts. So if you need to know anything, talk to Wade. Don is my left-hand man, and he's been here. They've been